Hello, this is Jason P. Wilson Zero in X-Force, and this is my Marvel and Independent comic pick of the week and honorable mentions for the weeks of February 15th, February 22nd, and February 29th, which was this last Wednesday. Today is a Friday, and it is the 2nd of March. Now, usually I put my DCs and Marvel's Independents all together for pick of the week, but I figured because I'm doing 3 weeks, I wanted to separate my DC and my Marvel. So even though I had a much bigger reading stack from Marvel, my contender stack, which was much bigger on my DC side, so I went ahead and threw the independent in with my Marvel. And first up, we'll do honorable mentions. And first with my honorable mentions is my independent honorable mention, and that is Dynamite number 2 for Lord of the Jungle. This, of course, is based on the Lord of Grayskull novel, and I'm sure it's been done in graphic novel form before. I personally have not read it. This is the first time I've read an actual uncut kind of treating of the story put to comic form. So I'm really excited about that. This is a story I've liked for a long time. I've always loved Tarzan, and I really wanted to see Tarzan done right, with no editing, really the way that it was portrayed in the book, and we're definitely getting that here. Even though the first 2 issues weren't really action heavy, they did have a nice build up, and you can tell, especially by the end of this one, that it's going to be action heavy as the story gets rolling. We're introduced to some key characters in this issue, and we see the bad guys here. Now, I have to say, I do like the art style. I'm very happy with it. There are some times, though, that I'm really not liking what I'm seeing, but I think they're doing it on purpose. Like, for instance, this. That's an ugly face. And look at this. Very, like, ape-like, right? Now, I'm not sure if the artist is doing this on purpose, so when we're getting involved with the raising of Tarzan by the apes and everything, if they want to show that humans and apes are so very close, that could, in appearance, they could be purposely making, especially the bad guys, look very apish. I'm thinking maybe that's what they're doing, but it's still not nice to look at, especially when it's putting out faces like that. But that's a minor gripe. The story's strong. This is, of course, all build up. We're being introduced to important characters to come in the issue, and so far I think the adaptation is done very well. I got most excited here towards the end of the book because we got to see Tarzan taking on an alligator, and that's the kind of Tarzan I like to see. It's really well done, and you can tell how good the action is going to be in future issues, and that personally got me excited. So when you're doing Tarzan, you're doing the action, that's where it looks really, really good. So I'm hoping we get a lot more of that and less of the monkey pirate faces guys. But again, that was a minor gripe. This is an excellent comic, and I can't wait to see where this is going to go. A strong honorable mention. Next up here is the Avenging Spider-Man number 4. This is the second story arc, and a lot of people were really not looking forward to this. I guess they're not fans of the writer or the artist or both. I'm not sure, but I actually was quite happy with it. I was hearing so much negative. It's like some people didn't want to read this. I was thinking, oh great, this is going to really suck. I love the first story arc so much, and I love that art style so very much, that I was not looking forward to some normal looking artwork coming aboard. With that said, I actually do kind of like this art style. Now, nowhere near as much as I like the art style of the first story arc. I mean, that was absolutely perfect. I like that style. It worked perfectly with the type of feel that they went for with the book. It was very action oriented, and it was very like campy, a lot of fun Spider-Man stuff. Now, we're not getting all of that here. It's toned down quite a bit, the funny stuff and the just the funness that the first story arc had. It's definitely toned down a bit. It's a more serious tone, I think, probably to match this more serious artwork. But I was appreciating it. I was liking it. Everyone's kind of pretty. Here we have Hawkeye. I mean, look at Hawkeye is like a freaking underwear model here or something. I don't know, but still, hey, look, he can be a vampire from Twilight. Pretty funny. But hey, that's okay. It wasn't really bugging me at all. This is pretty interesting. Seeing the artwork done on his bike with the floating wheels there, pretty cool. The artwork in general, though, even though this is my Spider-Man that I love, either the artwork from the first story arc, which I'd never seen done with Spider-Man before, which I thought was fantastic. This is, of course, the classic, my favorite, when this artist works on Amazing Spider-Man. But still, I really didn't find it bad. I felt it was different, but I wasn't hating it at all. I was enjoying it, and there were actually some moments in here where I thought were very, very nice panels. I thought the story was not as fun as the first story arc. It's definitely much more serious, but I still thought it was executed well. And even though I can tell already this is not going to be my favorite story arc from Avenging Spider-Man, I find it's good enough, and the artwork is nice enough that I can see the appeal. And if you haven't read the first story arc, you're not going to pick this up and not like it. It's still well done. And especially I've got to be open with a lot of different people jumping on board here because it is a Spider-Man book and it's a new Spider-Man book. So, but I thought it was cool. I like that he was with Hawkeye in this issue, and it looks like next issue we're gonna get Cap in there. So I thought it was an honorable mention. Now, not a very good cover, but unlikely. Usually it's the opposite. But the actual artwork inside this book is better than the cover. So I thought it was a strong recommendation. Next up here from honorable mentions is Uncanny X-Force number 22. I really like this. I've already mentioned the artwork before. It's a hit or miss depending on what you like, but you can't take away from the writing. The writing is just absolutely as good as always. Again, with the artwork, sometimes it looks so cool. It's just beautifully done. It's like nice artwork. And in other moments, it just feels like a bunch of clay mushed together. And I think that's a good way to describe some of the uglier panels done by this artist. It's like a bunch of clay mushed together. But I do dig the watercolors. I think the watercolors are nice. Other times here, that can kind of work for some people. Other people might think that it looks, very this muddy and not very detailed. And for a guy who really likes detailed artwork, I found it surprising that I was actually appreciating this artwork as much as I was. But again, I do like pastels and watercolors when it's done right. I think Deadpool was probably one of the better characters to come across in this art style, where here's a perfect example of how Wolverine is not... This is not some of the best artwork with Wolverine. The facial expressions that the artist uses just... I don't know. He looks like he's going to the bathroom in his pants or something. But Deadpool, on the other hand, comes across very well. It has been this whole story arc. Again, with the splash pages, surprisingly enough, this artwork fits very nicely in splash pages. You get the epic feel. The skies are just... I think the way this artist colors backgrounds and skies is why he comes across so well on splash pages. I think when he has to cram his artwork in these little panels and he can't use his strengths, that's when it just looks ugly, like that. That looks like anybody could do that, right? But then you see how he really uses the environment to do the splash pages, the skies especially, and it just really pops. It's really well done. So if only he could get away with doing every page a splash page, this would really be a lot better art style for the general public to embrace. But I'm still enjoying it. But like I've said before, when we go back to the next story arc, I'm really hoping that it's a while before this artist comes back. And when he does, I want to see more splash pages and less of this. Still excellent story. I do want to say one thing. I'm really cool with the British version of Psylocke, but I really don't like the whole mask thing. I think it doesn't really work for me. But all in all, Uncanny X-Force is great as usual, and very much enjoying this comic. A strong recommendation. And next up here is my Marvel comic and independent pick of the weeks, and that is Wolverine and the X-Men #6. Even though this might have been just kind of a fun issue, you had a lot going for it. First of all, a great art style. Now, after reading X-Force, which I read first, it was so nice to get back to a great art style. I just love stuff like this, and seeing this artist do off-world stuff just really brought some of his strengths to light. He just really does aliens and the alien environments just so well. It's some of the best alien stuff I've seen in a long time. He also is really good with the action with it. And obviously the writing is great. You have great moments with the characters. And you're going back and forth between Wolverine and his kids he's bringing with him, trying to make some money for the school. And you go back to Kitty Pryde and the team that is have shrunk and they're inside her, trying to save her from the brood infection, if you will. So the story is compelling and fun, and I don't know if compelling is a really good word. I don't know if you can ever use compelling when talking about this book, but I really do like the characters. I think the best thing about the writing is the interaction between the characters. It's fun, it's funny, it's a lot of things I liked about the first story arc of Avenging Spider-Man. It's just, it has a nice serious tone to it, but it's so much fun that you can't help yourself but to have fun reading it. So yeah, some of these panels are just so good, and there's so much going on, but at the same time it comes across very attractive way to do it. So much action, so much stuff. Now, what's funny is both the art styles of Uncanny X-Force right now and Wolverine and the X-Men, both, they cram a lot in, but that where the Uncanny X-Force current artist, when he crams a lot into a small panel, it just looks ugly. This artist, when he crams a lot in a small panel, it still looks really good. He also does big panels really well too, but there's a lot going on here, so you don't get a lot of splash pages. Still, this was one of my favorite issues to come out so far, and this is becoming one of my favorite comics easily. Also, we get something happening here at the end that is pretty exciting for future issues. I won't show too much of that, but yes, this is definitely a strong pick of the week, and I'm really enjoying the heck out of Wolverine and the X-Men. So with that, I want to ask you guys, are you guys loving Wolverine and the X-Men as much as I am? And what do you guys like most about it? And if you have any complaints, anything you think that maybe they need to get better on. Also, I'm curious what you guys are thinking about the art style in Uncanny X-Force, and if any of you are reading the new story arc with Avenging Spider-Man, and if you're reading the new Lord of the Jungle. And with that, those are my honorable mentions and comic pick of the week. I'm really curious to hear from you guys, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.